Wow. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Protecting the Vision. My name is Dr. Timothy Brown. I am a board member. I'm also known as Mr. Positivity. I'm a board member for the National Optometric Foundation, and I'm excited to be with you in this month of March in the year of 2026. Spring is here, and I know some of us can feel it in various ways. We may be having some symptoms of dry eyes and allergies and during this spring season. It is also World Optometry Day. So congratulations and special contribute and appreciation to all of the optometrists around the world who are helping to take care of vision, eye care, managing and treating patients day in and day out. Thank you for all of your hard work. And thank you to all of you who are tuned in today on this episode. As we will explain later, we're going to have a fabulous guest speaker. So go ahead and send this link to your family and friends, because this guest speaker is going to share some valuable information that I know will be helpful, maybe for you, maybe for a friend or a family member. So if you will, share this link. We're on YouTube, live on YouTube, and we want everybody to have access to this webinar. If you're catching this later in the day or the next day, be sure that you share this with a friend so that they can have this information that we're going to share with you tonight. As a board member for the National Optometric Foundation, we are committed to advancing eye health and vision care through education, outreach, and community engagement. Our mission is always trying to empower individuals with knowledge. We try to empower them with knowledge and connect to communities to care and support initiatives that improve access to quality care for everyone. And our National Optometric Foundation supports our parent company, parent association, the National Optometric Association, and we support them in various ways. We're the financial arm for them. We help go along with them at our annual conventions, our conferences. We're going to be in St. Louis in the month of July coming up this year. So if you want to volunteer for that event and help us provide eye exams for the community in St. Louis, we welcome you to join us. Thanks to all of the doctors and the companies and the students and the technicians who come alongside with us and the NOA to provide eye care each year in different communities. We're trying to help serve and provide care to underrepresented communities, individuals who may not have access to eye care. We try to come along and do that. We also support the NOSA, our student association, providing scholarships, travel grants, trying to help them get connected to us at the conferences so that they will be connected to all of the optometrists in the NOA, and they can use that opportunity to network, to see how the field of optometry is, and as they continue to pursue their career. We support students who are in high school, college, thinking about becoming an optometrist as well. And we would like to continue to do these great things. And if you want to support us, we do have a Cash App, and you can give tonight, $ Protecting the Vision. We have a website, nationaloptometricfoundation.com, that you can go and find more information about us and see some of the photos that we've provided as we go into communities providing that eye care. We also have a YouTube channel. You can see all of our previous webinars that we've done over the past 3 years on our YouTube channel. And we also have a Facebook page that you can go and connect with us. We would appreciate it if you will go and connect with us on our Facebook page so that we can alert you when we're going to continue to do these webinars throughout 2026. We are also going to let you know that we try to highlight the silent killers of vision, diabetes, diabetic retinopathy, glaucoma, and hypertensive retinopathy. We try to provide that education for communities around the globe so that they do not lose their sight. We want you to be aware. And maybe as we're talking about our topic for tonight, maybe you found yourself rubbing your eyes throughout the day thinking, why do my eyes feel so dry and irritated, even when I haven't done anything differently? So we just want you to hold on to that thought, because we're hoping that if that's you, we can answer those questions tonight. Go ahead and put in the chat. If you're dealing with dry eyes, if your eyes are feeling irritated, we want to hear from you. Put it in the comment section down there. If you have any questions, put it in the comment section and we'll try to address those things as well. Today's webinar is going to be titled, Why Are My Eyes So Dry? And understanding the causes in simple ways to find relief. If you ever experience burning, itching, redness, blurred vision, or even excessive tearing, your eyes are watering so much, today's conversation is just for you. All right, we're going to break it down in simple, practical ways so you can better understand what's happening with your eyes. More importantly, what you can do to start feeling better. So tune in to our guest speaker tonight as she gives you some highlights there. It's my honor and my to introduce our guest speaker, Dr. Gloria Hentz. She earned her Bachelor of Science degree from Prairie View A&M University and her doctorate degree, optometry degree from the University of Houston College of Optometry. Dr. Hentz has served the United States Air Force and holds the rank as Lieutenant Colonel. She currently serves as Chief of Optometry Services for her unit. Dr. Hentz has been practicing in Fort Worth and Arlington area for more than 15 years, a lot of experience there. So if you have questions, put them in the comment section. She's ready. She provides medical optometry care for patients with eye diseases such as cataracts, glaucoma, macular degeneration, diabetes. She's provide routine, comprehensive eye exams for glasses, for contacts. She see adults, she see children. If you're in Texas, you want a good eye doctor who's going to talk back to you. This is the one. Yes, she has a passion for service, providing excellence in vision care for everybody. She enjoys fitting a variety of contacts, specialty contacts like Ortho-K, sclerals, rigid gas permeables. She has great knowledge and interest in dry eye, which is why this is a great topic for her to speak on tonight. Ocular allergies, trauma care, cataract management, refractive surgery such as LASIK. She enjoys traveling and spending time with her husband and her 3 children. And in her free time, you can find her running, reading, and serving in the community. My goodness, I think we have a star guest speaker tonight. And I'm excited to welcome to the show. Welcome to the show, Dr. Gloria Hentz. We're so happy to have you on with us today.
Thank you so much, Dr. Brown, for that dynamic introduction. I appreciate you, and thank you for having me on here. It's amazing. It's always great to be a part of what the NOA is doing. So thank you again.
The NOA is making, yes, thank you. And we're glad to have you on. The NOA constantly trying to push forward to educating communities, providing care. And we thank you for the care that you're providing in and out for your patients there in Texas. And we'll give you the opportunity to be able to tell our listeners who may want to come and see you how they can get in contact with you and come and see you for their next eye exam as well as we get to the end of the show, okay?
Okay, perfect.
Excellent, excellent. Well, this is the season, Doc, the season where people are coming into the office. We saw it today, irritated eyes, dry eyes, allergy season, eyes are watering, the eyes are red. We're dealing with a lot of that. So just starting out, I just want you to talk a little bit about, you know, what people may say when their eyes feel dry, they feel gritty, they feel irritated. What does dry eye actually mean in simple terms?
So some patients, they come in, they say my eyes are dry, feel sandy. So that's one of the common things. But also sometimes patients come in, they're like, Doc, my eyes won't stop running. And when I tell them that they're dry, then they're like, okay, you're not listening, Doc. I just told you my eyes are dry. So sometimes just really educating them, and maybe their eyes have always been dry, but because it's watering, never dawned on them that this is dry eyes. So just, explaining to them. But when our eyes is dry, it's because it's not getting enough moisture. So when it's not getting enough moisture, then our brain starts to go into emergency mode. So I always explain to patients the reason why your eyes are watering is because the brain is sensing the dryness and it's trying to help by giving you really cheap tears that don't have any lubricating drops in there. Well, the best example is if your skin is super, super dry and I pour water on it, right? It may appear that it's wet, but at the end of the day, it's probably going to be even drier because there's no moisturizing property in those tears. So just kind of explaining to patients the reason why it is it's watering is because it's so dry, and those tears that are coming are what we call emergency tears. They're there to, if you get if you get something in your eye, it's there to come wash it out. It's like the fire hydrant of the tears, versus the tears that are sitting on our eyes all the time has the 3 layers. Has a water layer, oil, and then mucus. So those 3 components of the tears is what keeps it moisturized. So if at any point any of those 3 components are not working well, then we have what we call dry eyes. So if your oil glands aren't secreting oil well enough, then maybe your eyes are producing the tears part, the water part, but it's evaporating really quickly. So then the eyes feel dry, or maybe the oil glands are working well, but you're just not making enough tears. So there's a lot of different things that can go into that.
Wow. I like the term that you just used, and I don't hear that often when people are talking about dry eyes. Emergency tears. Those are tears to just get you like you said, you're wet, but you don't really have that moisturizing property there to keep the eyes comfortable and keep the eyes from being dry and irritated later there. So I know we're going to dive in it deeper and talk about some of the relief that people can find and everything. But I like the way you just explained it there about those emergency tears. People come in all the time. They can't be dry. We tell them, and they're like, you can't be dry. I'm tearing all day. I got plenty. But those are your emergency tears. Thank you for that, Doc. I like that. See, I learned something. And many times we've talked about this. So you're saying that there are different layers. There are water, oil, and mucin layer there as well. So we'll just keep that in memory as we continue to go along this. Sometimes throughout the day, we're using our eyes, and we're using our eyes for many different things. Some of us don't even realize how long we're using our eyes as well as we're doing our day in and day out tasks, or we're at work and things of that sort. Can you talk about some of the things that we may be doing on a routine basis that could be contributing to dry eye?
You said we only have an hour, right?
We're going to try to keep it in that hour, Doc. Yeah.
So yeah, we do so many things, right? Our screen, the first thing most people look at when they wake up, our phone time, right?
Right.
And then most of us are using some kind of computer throughout the day. Air conditioned, maybe we like our house really cold. We have the fan going on at night. And then we're not drinking enough water, right? Everybody walks around with water bottles, but maybe we're not utilizing that water. We're not getting our gallon in, so we are dehydrated as in our body, which is also associated with our eyes. But also, not getting enough sleep. If you've only had 5 hours of shut eye time, your eyes are going to be dry, right? Because when it's closed, that's when we're eliminating any outside air as well. Our diet is really important as well. If we're not eating the right foods and things like that, that's going to cause the tears and things not to be as fluent. And then medications are a big thing. There's lots of medications that does cause our eyes to dry. One of the common ones, especially in the spring with allergies, is antihistamine. So I always tell my patients, I want you to take those allergy medications, but just keep in mind that its job is to dry out your sinuses. So you just need to be proactive in making sure you're using a good quality, high quality lubricating job. And that's something we'll probably get into later. And I always explain, not all lubricating drops are made equally, just like lotion. We have really good quality lotion where you use it and it's like, man, I used it this morning, I'm still moisturized. Or you have some lotion from a hotel or wherever, you use it and it looks like it immediately goes away. So sometimes that's just the first step, is making sure that they're in a good quality lubricating drop as well. So those are just some of the few causes. Of course, age is also a factor as well too. As we get more birthdays, clinically we're making less tears, especially in women.
And I'm going to talk about that because I'm going to talk about that because I'm so wondering uh, what happens after that, especially after the age of 40. So much changes
Oh,
after the age of
yes.
40. And I didn't think it was going to happen to me. You know, I was like, oh, I hear this, but not for me. Sure
Me
enough,
too.
man, I didn't get
Same.
I didn't avoid that change that happens after the age of 40. So I want to talk about that later on, but I also want to highlight the fact that it seems like you were here at this office today because you were talking about people who have fans going in their house that's contributing to their dry eyes. You also talked about decrease in water intake, which is causing us to be dehydrated. I mean, those are the type of patients that we had today, and this same thing was contributing. They have a fan. Some of you may be listening, and this is you. You have a fan directly beside your bed, and it's blowing directly to your face. Not good for various
Right.
reasons. As Doc just said, contribute to dry eye. I'm sure it could cause some other things there. You want to watch, you make sure you don't get a head cold. But we need to redirect some of the things that we're doing at home in order to decrease, from what I'm hearing, to decrease some of these symptoms that we're having when it comes to dry eyes.
Right, and especially in the car with the summers coming. I mean, I'm in Texas right now, I'm in Arizona, but when you get in the car, you know that AC gets blasted to the fullest and it is blown in your eye. And if you're driving 45 minutes, it feels good, but it's
Yeah.
going to dry the eyes out a little bit, right? So I think just being aware of all the different things that cause dryness, and once you know about it, then you know, okay, this time of year I need to, really, really lubricate, because I have lots of things going on that is going to cause my eyes to be a bit drier.
Yes, we got to be mindful of those things as we get into the 80s and the 90-degree temperatures when we want to crank that fan on the AC all the way up, versus letting it stay low or kind of mid-range there. Good points there. Good points. So getting back to that age of 40, why is it that dry eye seems to be so common after the age of 40? What is it? What's going on?
We have lots of hormonal changes after 40, and for some of us a bit before 40. So I think especially in women, we things start to dry up a little bit more. So, but I think this really has a lot to do with just with all the hormone changes that start to happen. Our system starts to take on a different path, and move things are moving slower, just like, our digestion, metabolism, things are moving slower. So that will cause that as well. And then
Uh-huh.
I know one thing that I was going to touch back on the screen time is we don't blink as often, right? When we're on our screens, we're we're locked in, right? We're scrolling on
Yeah.
social media, but even at work, we're logged in, and some patients will have 3 or 4 screens. They're like, "I'll have a screen here, a screen there," and they're
Yes.
sitting there in that 40 centimeters for those 8 hours. And then a study showed that usually we blink about 12 to 14 times per minute, but when we're in front of our screens, we're blinking like 4 times. So I always tell patients, so if you're at work for 8 hours and you have not taken a break, you didn't, look outside, then all those things can be just some contributing factors.
And if I'm hearing you correctly too, you're saying some of the contributing factors can be the weather, the
Right.
air conditioner in your home, or the
Yeah.
heating inside your home or your place of work as well.
Correct, correct. Yeah. So outside, if you're in Texas or even in a really cold environment, wind is going to dry our tears out a lot more. And also if you're in a dry, deserty, like in Arizona, 120 in the summer, your eyes are going to feel it, right?
Wow.
Just like your skin feels it, your eyes is going to be having that impact as well.
This, I'm sure, has been helpful information for people who are listening, talking about these things that's contributing to dry eye, things that's happening throughout our normal day-to-day activities that we may not realize, and some of the reasons and causes for why these changes are happening. You're saying age and hormonal changes that's going on after a certain age.
Right.
I just put it out there, the age of 40. You have these changes that's happening around that time or sometimes before you hit the age of 40 there. And that's causing your production of tears to decrease as we keep celebrating birthdays there. So
Yeah. And
we
we
just
like
want to make you guys
birthdays,
aware.
right? We want them to keep coming. So
Hey, speaking of birthdays, on April the 4th, I'll be celebrating birthday number 44. So I'll
all
be
right.
4 more years on top of 40.
Oh, this is a big birthday, 4444.
There it is.
Nice.
Yes, yes,
Yes.
yes. On four
This your
four.
Obama year.
Yes, that's all my thoughts right there, all together. You are hitting the nail on the head. So I'm
Nice.
looking forward to taking some time to just enjoy life, and I think that's what we need to remember as we are celebrating our birthdays, to take time for yourself, make sure that you're enjoying life, and just the simple things like you mentioned, water intake. Make sure that you're drinking enough water throughout the day, substitute your, I don't know if you guys can, your coffee or maybe your Pepsi or whatever drink that you drink. Substitute a couple of those for a glass of water throughout the day. Your body will thank you. Your eyes will thank you as well. Doc, do you agree?
I agree. And I know also in the winter time, we drink less water because we're not physically hot, right? Versus we still have those environmental things that even though we're not physically feeling dehydrated, we're more dehydrated in the winter. So I think that's also when people really start to notice their dryness in the winter, because it's not 110 degrees, so we're
Right.
not intaking the water like we should. And our water intake should still be just as much in the winter. And I think that's when it's really a good reminder that, okay, I know I'm not feeling dehydrated, but I still need to be consistent with my water intake throughout the day. So just setting a goal. Everybody carries water bottles nowadays, right? So
Bingo.
don't bring it back home, pour it out, and the next day
Right.
put a fresh one in there. Like
Right.
if it's a 64 ounce, then it's like,
Right.
I'm not gonna bring it home empty. So what I try to tell my kids. Do not bring
Right.
that water bottle home, because I don't want to pour it out, clean it, put the same water in there. So I think we can take that for ourselves as well, because we just, we're not drinking our water that we're carrying around within. Sometimes I feel like it's a social thing, right? Because everybody has a big water bottle, but
Exactly.
nobody are we really, drinking it as we did? Because back in the days we didn't walk around with.
No,
I don't remember my
no,
parents walking around with big water bottles. So I don't
no.
know if they're more hydrated or less hydrated than we are. Who knows?
If your parent had anything, it's because you needed an actual baby bottle. If you didn't need a baby bottle, you didn't have a water container walking around
Right.
with it. But I'm glad you brought it up, because as I've been traveling last week, going through airports and everything, everybody seemed to have a water bottle, and you wonder, are they really drinking it, or is it just a trend that everybody's jumping on? But I take my water bottle, I fill it in the morning, I drink it in the morning, I drink it at noon for lunch, and I'm also drinking it on the way home to make sure that I have all that water gone by the time I get home. Then I refill it so that I can have it for dinner. So I'm really practicing more,
Intentional.
having a greater intake of water throughout the day. So, uh,
Right.
yeah,
Perfect. That's a great example. Just setting those goals. Like, I will not bring this water back empty. So if it's sitting in the parking lot and, like, you know
right,
what? Let me finish this last bit. But I'm going to be consistent and practice making sure I'm
yeah,
bringing it empty. And if you have a small one, then make sure I'm going to refill it. At work, I'm going to refill it at a certain time. And and go through two of them if you have a really small one. But I think just being mindful. And I think with dry eyes, it's really the first step is just being mindful of all those things.
Right, right. And just going along here with this webinar, Doc, just want to talk
Right.
about, and thank you for highlighting that again on the screen there for us about how,
Right.
yeah, things in the environment. You know, we're dealing with pollen right now is really heavy. A lot of people are dealing with allergies and things of that sort as well there too. I don't know if you want to touch on that briefly
Yeah.
before I go.
Right. So we know we don't just get dry eyes, we don't get allergies. Most of the time, the eyes you have allergy, you're going to have there's going to be some dryness component to it with the pollen outside, even just indoor allergens that are kind of sitting on our tear film all the time. And all those irritants can cause it to be dry. So just being aware of that outside, the wind will dry things out. So there are just a lot of environmental things, and pollutants, right?
Yes.
We're outside with car and, all the exhaust and things. So all those things are shown to cause dryness. And if you live in a metropolitan area where you're sitting in traffic, the exhaust that's coming through your car, and then you're throwing the
Yes.
AC on top of it that's blowing. So all these things are just really just causing hazard on the eyes.
Yes. And one of the cases that we had today, someone was referred to us and we worked her in today. Extreme dry eye, but some of her causes were some of the things that we've talked about. One being the fan directly beside her bed. One of the other things that we brought up and that was related to that case that I wanted to talk with you about is about contact lenses. You know, she was a contact lens wearer, and she also wore makeup. And I was just wondering if you could talk about how those things also contribute to dry eye as well.
Right. So we have contact lens, a little piece of plastic that needs to be moisturized. So if you're putting something in your eye that requires moisture in an environment that's already short of moisture, then it's going to be problematic. So sometimes we need to, depend on how extreme the dryness is, we need to remove that contact lens out of the equation temporarily and address the eye. So I always tell patients the contact lens needs moisture and your eye needs moisture. So usually what I'll tell patients is that contact lens is absorbing moisture, so it's making the eyes drier. So we just need to make sure that it's a good environment for that contact lens to be in. So making sure we're moisturizing our eyes, but also with makeup, we have makeup and we have oil glands kind of on our lower and upper lids that, our makeup can start to block those glands. And we talked about how important those oil glands are, and that's what keeps those tears from evaporating. But thirdly, makeup debris in the eye. So now, we have powder, we have mascara, liner, and there are, we don't see, there's still little particles in the eye that is causing it to get dry, is irritating it. So I know we'll talk about what to do about it, but just since
Yeah.
we're talking about makeup, just proper hygiene, proper removal of the makeup, proper disposal of contact lenses now, now with technology and things like an advancement in contact lenses, there's just so many options that will kind of decrease the effect of dryness whenever you're wearing makeup or you have contact lenses on. Yeah.
Right. And to our listeners, those of you who are tuning in to this webinar, we want you to understand that we are defining dry eye. We've done that.
Right.
Doc is going through all the different things that can contribute to dry eye that you may not be aware of. So we want to list all of the causes and things that can contribute to dry eye. And then later, if stay tuned, she's going to tell you about how you can find relief, because we don't want to just present a bunch of problems and causes. We want you to know the treatment, the relief that you can find, that you can get when it comes to dry eyes there too. So just hang on in there. We're going to get there, but
We're going to
there's
give
a
you
few
some
more things.
solutions.
Yes, there's a few more things that we want to just cover because we want to make sure that you are aware. Make sure that you are aware of all the things that can cause it. Now, one of the things that's on my mind is talking about different health conditions and medications, because I had a patient today, you could call it case number 2, but had a long list of medications that I'm sure she had some things that contribute to dry eye. And I just want to ask you about just elaborating a little bit about how medications and certain health conditions can contribute to dry eye as well.
All right. So we talked about allergies and antihistamines. Its job is to kind of dry out our sinuses, and in doing so, it can cause our eyes to get a little dry. So allergy medications will dry it out. Doesn't mean stop taking those allergy medications, but also another one is autoimmune conditions. Most autoimmune conditions are inflammatory in nature, and dry eye is an inflammatory process. So those autoimmune conditions tie very, very closely to dryness because it's kind of the same mechanism of inflammation. And other medication we know, like birth control pills, that is known to cause dryness, but there's so many medications that, even though it may not be listed, is or maybe very low on the list, it does cause some dryness as well. But yes, lots of autoimmune conditions. So sometimes our diagnosis of how extreme your dry eyes may lead us to send you for autoimmune testing, depending on what we're seeing. Like, okay, well, this dryness is so extreme that we want you to get certain things looked at. So there's times where just based on how long we've been treating and trying to treat someone's dry eyes, that we send for some autoimmune testing, and they find out maybe it's they have other conditions that was the first symptom was the dry eye. So, and then of course these are extreme dry. That's not some of the normal dryness that the majority of us are going through on a daily basis.
Yes, yes. I
Yes.
mean,
So
this is good information, Doc, that you're providing there. Good information so that our listening audience will be aware of all of the contributing factors for
it's too.
dry eyes there. I think we are now at the point where we can start giving a little bit about things that you could do, changes that you can make, lifestyle
Yeah.
changes, and maybe some relief that they can find when it comes to dry eyes there. If you agree,
Yeah.
we want to just go
Yeah.
into finding some relief for that
Right.
dry eye, please.
So the first thing, and you can still hear me?
Yes, we can.
Oh, hello?
Yes.
My volume just went out. Are you able to hear me? Okay.
Yes.
So the first, and I cannot hear you guys. I think my volume went out, but I'll keep going. So the first thing is, of course, artificial tears. We talked about there's different levels of artificial tears. We always want preservative-free artificial tears. So I always tell patients we just want a good moisturizer. We don't want it to have other things, preservatives in there that may irritate your eye. So spending the extra money and getting something that's preservative free, so we're not getting half tears and half preservative. So I'm really big on just making sure we're using preservative free artificial tears. The 2020 rule. So that goes to the screen time. So how do we address the screen time? Because we can't avoid screen time. So one thing that you'll probably heard from your optometrist is the 2020 rule, which means every 20 minutes, look 20 feet away for 20 seconds. So I always tell patients, when you're at work, it's been 20 minutes, turn that desk around, maybe look down the hallway for a little bit, look across the room, give your eyes a little bit of a break, because your blink rate will naturally increase when you're looking far away. When you're looking near, you're going to be really, I don't know if we lost you or not, but we'll keep going. So making sure we're taking those frequent breaks. I always joke with my patients. I'm like, if you're at work, taking a break does not mean going to look at your phone. That may be a mental break, but it's not an eye break. So making sure we're taking actual actual breaks from screen. So look out the window, down the hallway for 20 seconds. So that's what the 2020 rule is. Every 20 minutes, look 20 feet away for 20 seconds. Other thing is hydration. I think me and Dr. Brown really went in on the hydration and water. Water is so important for the whole system to operate, right? So just now adding it to the list of other things that another reason why we need to hydrate. One thing we did not mention that I just remember is smoking, right? Smoking is a big about dryness. So
that adds to another list of things that, another reason if you want to quit smoking, to do, because we know that that's definitely tied to, again, all those pollutants going into your eyes as well. Warm compresses. So they have lots of dry eye mats that usually you can get in stores, at your optometrist's office, or maybe online. And what that is doing is really targeting those oil glands to kind of get them moving so they're working more efficiently. And humidifiers. So if you're in a place where it's really dry, especially in the winter times, the humidifier will definitely help. So those are just some little tips to help, but also just making sure, and your annual eye exam, right? So if you're using your artificial tears, you're taking your breaks, you're drinking your water, you're doing your warm compresses, but it feels like those artificial tears you're using every few hours, you put it in, it feels good, you have to put in again. It's probably time for, definitely time for you to see your optometrist, because the artificial tears is just kind of the start, and there's so many advances in prescription medication and office things that can help your dryness. So if you're having to walk around with your artificial tears in your pocket and every hour you're having to drop it in, that's not what we mean when we say use artificial tears. It means there's something a little bit deeper, and we need to, bring you in for an actual evaluation and see what's going on. So I think that's when we say artificial tears. I don't want you to have the artificial tears tied to your arm, because it's like that's the only way I can get a relief, because that's not just lifestyle wise, right? That's not the comfortable lifestyle. Another recommendation that I do tell patients that are on the computer a lot, I always tell them, of course, in the morning, use your artificial tears. But if you know you're getting ready to be on the computer for a few hours before you even start, just go ahead and put some lubricating drops in. Because even though you're going to try to do the 20/20 rule and blink more, the reality is when you're working, you're not going to blink as often. So if you're already starting the day, starting before you start your computer with extra moisture, then you will notice that you're able to go a little bit longer, and you're less fatigued, your eyes are less blurriness and things like that. So that's one thing I always remind my patients, like when you get to the office, you're getting ready to go to work, be on the computer for several hours, go ahead and just put a drop in just to already get it started.
You have a great list of tips there that I
Thank you.
tried to also type so our audience could have there as well. One of the patients that we saw today, out of your tips that you have listed there, she talked about how the warm compresses helped her the most. When she started using the warm compresses, after a few days, she found her best relief from all of the symptoms she was having when it came to dry eyes. She's tried artificial tears, preservative free. She tried some of the other gels as well, and she got temporary relief. But when she used the warm compresses there, it got those glands doing what they should be doing. The natural production there to help support the eyes. They're providing that moisture that the eye need throughout the day, because she confessed, I'm using screen time all day. I'm watching the screen. I'm helping customers. I'm on my devices about 8 hours plus. That's just at work, not even talking about going home. And one of the things that you mentioned, Doc, was talking about how you go on a break and we got our devices in front of us again. So you're on a break, but your eyes are not getting a break. You're on a device and you're using it again and your eyes are getting dry. So we're just trying to make sure that you guys are aware of the things that you're doing day in and day out that's contributing to the symptoms that you may be having when it comes to dry eyes. You remember I asked you that question at the beginning of this webinar, walking around, rubbing your eyes a lot, your eyes feeling irritated. Is that you? You could be doing some of the things that our guest speaker is trying to highlight tonight, and you just need to be aware so that you can do some adjustments there as well. As we're talking about adjustments, those who are using the screen, because that's work, that's how they make a living, that's the
Right.
income coming into their household. We don't want you to quit your job. We just want to give you some tips that you can do to help make life better and more comfortable for you, Doc. If you can
Right.
help us out with that,
Yes.
please.
So of course, we know the fact that I gave earlier when we're on the screen, we don't blink as often because we're hyper focused on what we're doing, whether it's reading emails, sending text messages, or you're an architect and you're doing, you're looking at graphs and things. You're just not blinking because you're super focused. So blinking more. So just looking away from the computer and looking far away. And I always tell patients, I know it sounds silly for me to tell you to blink more, but when you blink, it's like the windshield, our windshield, whenever it comes down, it squirts a little water, right? That's the same thing with our tears. As we blink, those oil glands will kind of excrete a little bit of oil. So it's important for us to blink. And when we're looking at a distance, we're going to naturally blink more. So if you're sitting watching somebody down the street, your natural blink rate is just going to happen. But if you're looking at something really close, your brain does not blink. So really taking more blinking. Another thing in regards to screen, sometimes how your screen is set up is important, right? So if you have a screen up here, so now you're having a lot of exposure to your eyes are exposed a lot, then it's going to cause a little bit of dryness. So usually I tell patients, make sure your monitor is just a little bit below eye level, and that will kind of help a little bit. So the eyeball's not open so wide if it's all the way up, but if it's kind of a little bit down, then that will decrease it. Of course, we also spoke about, fans and things like that can sometimes be contributing to it. And then the screen, since you can't quit your job, I think doing some of the, and even just a few of those things are really impactful. Some patients like, oh man, every time I get to work, I have my artificial tears next to me and I put a drop in, and doc just doing that has really made a big impact. So I think it's just really simple steps that you can take once you're aware of it being a cause for dryness.
Right. Excellent, excellent overview of things that can help you guys. We've been giving you a list of causes. Now we're giving you some relief and some tips
Yes.
there, and hope that you will take these things into consideration and get the relief that you deserve. Before because we get in near the end of this webinar, and I got a few more things that I would like to talk with our guest speaker about. I just want to highlight to those of you who are not familiar with our National Optometric Foundation who we are. We are a nonprofit organization. We are here to help support our parent organization, the National Optometric Association, and also our student organization, the National Optometric Student Association. We also support the community. We try to educate the community. We try to support community leaders as best as we can. We try to provide free eye exams to the community, providing scholarships for students who are in optometry school, thinking about going to optometry school after college to pursue their career in optometry, trying to serve underrepresented communities, making sure that they have access to eye care. We're doing all of those great things. And if you would like to find out more about us, we do have a website, nationaloptometricfoundation.com. You can go on there and see who our current officers are, our board members, and some photos that we have on our website. We also have a Facebook page. If you would please go and connect with us on our Facebook page, National Optometric Foundation. And we're also on YouTube, where you can find some of our previous webinars on YouTube under the National Optometric Foundation as well. And if you would like to contribute, we ask that you contribute tonight to help us continue to do these great things that we're doing for our community. We have a cash app that you can send payment to, $Protecting Division, and we'll be so thankful for any donation that you make tonight. We'll be so thankful. Thank you so much for tuning in on this webinar as we highlight some things about dry eyes, some causes for dry eyes, and also tips to find relief from dry eyes as well there too. Our guest speaker, as she is coming to the end of this webinar, I just want her to highlight how someone who may be self-treating, self-medicating, when should we advise people, or when should people know to stop doing this and actually go see an optometrist, go see an eye doctor for help?
So I'll start off by annual eye exams, right? So if you're getting your eye exams every year, as you should, then we're taking care of the whole eyeball, right? Not just the dryness, we're making sure the eye is healthy from front to back. So doing that initially, and then in those appointments, definitely bringing up what's going on with your dryness. But if you've had your annual eye exam and now you are recommending some drops and you're using it, but you're noticing that the symptoms are still persisting, they're worse, or you're having to use it more frequently, then the doctor recommended you to use it, then I would definitely going back in so they can do a dry eye evaluation to see if there's anything prescription or any treatments that they're able to do to help relieve the dryness. Also, one thing that kind of going back on that we didn't talk about was just sleep, right? So what can we do about not getting enough sleep? Get more sleep, right? And I know it's easy to say, but sleep is important. Just like water, sleep is important for the whole system to operate. So making sure we're getting good quality sleep. And like we know, if someone's ever told you, when you sleep, one eye's open a little bit, then sometimes that's the easiest way of knowing that, okay, yeah, this is why my eyes are dry. My mom always said one eye opens up a little bit, or my spouse says that. So sometimes when we do those exams and the patient is complaining about dryness, based on where we're seeing the dryness, the doctor may be like, well, do you sleep with your eyes open a little bit? And you may be like, how do they know? Just because when that eye and maybe it's not open all the way, but sometimes it's just pried open just a little bit, and that fan is just kind of seeping through that small opening. So those are some of the things that when you're in your annual eye exams, we can address and talk about, and maybe figure out some solutions to, well, what can I do? I'm sleeping with my eyes opened a little bit. Do we need to prescribe a different, thicker lubricating drops for that day? So there's lots of different things, but mainly just starting off with your annual eye exams, and after that, following up to see if those symptoms still persist as well. So I think that's just something that I forgot to kind of circle back on as well too. And then not using the Visine, they get the red out, all of those
good point,
things.
Doc.
Yeah,
Yes.
so I think and I think it's like makeup, right? It's like, okay, my eyes are red, it's irritated, I want it to look pretty. So I always tell patients, those are makeup, and it's not good. All it's going to do is just make things worse. So if your eyes are dry, we want to moisturize it. We don't want to put makeup over the dry skin, right? Because all that is doing is making the dryness worse. So I think that's usually before I even talk about artificial tears, is addressing some of the things that they should not be using and things that they should be using. I think that's an important point for us to kind of point out, that there's some things that any optometrist will tell you that I don't want it. I don't want you to ever use it. And I tell my family members, like, if I come to your house and I open your cupboard and I see a Visine in there, we're gonna have a family problems. So,
Absolutely.
so they may secretly clean it out when I come. But I think honestly, it's just education, right? Because you're like, okay, my eyes are red. I went to the store and it says get the red out. So it makes logical sense for me to use it. But I think when we explain to them why that just what it does to the eyes, and they understand it a little bit better. So usually what I tell patients is it has a rebound effect. So it may make it look pretty, but it's not actually addressing the issue. So which means the eyes are getting drier and it's making the dryness worse. So now you're using those, get the redness out every hour, because it's making those vessels really shrink, but the vessels are still dry, so they're going to keep ballooning. So I always try to explain to them that, hey, let's actually do what is going to help the dryness and not worry too much about it looking pretty, because if we're doing what we're supposed to do, the prettiness and the whiteness will get to where it needs to be, and it'll last, versus it being very temporary.
You're absolutely right. And I love the fact that you highlighted annual eye exam. Start there, folks. Get your eyes examined year after year. Don't delay. Do it today. I often say that on our webinars there. So make sure you call your local optometrist and get on their schedule. Get on their schedule. If you have not already scheduled your eye exam, we want to stress how important it is. Even if you feel that you don't need glasses, we do much more than just give you a prescription for glasses or say, hey, you need some sunglasses. Those things are good. Those things help you to see clearly. But we want you to also know that there are some things that you may find from your optometrist that's going on when it comes to your eye health that you normally would not find out about until it's in the later stages there. So I want to encourage you guys, if you're listening, to make sure that you get your eye exam scheduled with your local optometrist. All right, Dr. Hentz, you have been doing a fantastic job when it comes to talking about this topic on dry eye. And I really do appreciate you for being our guest speaker there. You've done a fabulous job. And I know that we're on the slide where we're going to talk about some key takeaways there. So I'm going to turn it back over to you.
Yes. So key takeaway is dry eye is common, it's treatable. At some point, everybody's eyes are going to be a little bit dry. And especially now with kids, right? They're at school, they're on their monitors and things like that. So you may see your little 8, 9-year-old just, rubbing their eyes or just or having symptoms that maybe they don't know how to express to you, that their eyes, every time when I get home from school, my eyes hurt. So making sure we're also making sure we're getting appointments for our kids as well, and being aware of what's going on with them. Because when we talk about screens, we may sometimes forget about the kids, because when they're at school, they're probably on the screen as much as some adults. So we're seeing a lot of cases of just children with dry eye. So it's common, it's treatable, and there's different levels of treatment. So if you've been told to do one thing and it's not working, go back to the optometrist, and there's lots of different things that we can do to help you. And then lastly, small habits, small daily habits make a big difference. We talked about the fans, we talk about how to position your monitors. We talked about using some artificial tears. So there's lots of little things that we can do. We talked most importantly about just taking a lot of breaks, right? The 20-20 rule. Every 20 minutes, look 20 feet away for 20 seconds, and just being mindful of blinking. Especially if you're and kids when they're playing the video games, man, I think that's where I see it a lot, is kids where they're on their gaming and they come and they're like, my eyes hurt. And of course, we say, well, get out that game and things like that, which is important, but just is for them, maybe it's not necessarily the screen, but it's just because they're so hyper focused that they're not blinking as often. So lots of breaks.
Absolutely.
And
We have to
annual eye
remind,
exam, last takeaway, right?
yes, we have to remind the young ones to take a break from their digital devices there, or they'll be locked into the room all night long on those digital devices there. They're walking around on them as well. So,
And they don't complain, right? They're not going to be as vocal with those symptoms either.
right. And a lot of industries are encouraging us to be on these devices. I was just on the plane this past week, and there was no screen to look at there. So you had to get on your phone if you wanted to watch movies or shows while you're flying for 3.5 hours, So there's a lot of encouragement to be on your digital devices more now than ever before. And that was predicted to us when we were in optometry school as well. But we just want you guys to know, if you have to be on your devices, do some things, take the breaks, make sure you keep your eyes moist and lubricated, as Doc has outlined today there as well. And if you know someone who's dealing with dry eyes there, send this webinar to them so that they can have this valuable information for relief and be aware there as well. Doc, I appreciate you again for being here. I want you to let those in Texas know, where are you located at if they want to come see you for their eye exam before I close out the show.
All right. Thank you so much, Dr. Brown. This was wonderful. And thank you for the tips. And I'm glad all those dry eye patients came in today, so you can even add on to this webinar. Thank you. So my office, we're Elite Vision Center. We're in Arlington, Texas. Our address is 5335 West Subler Road in Arlington, Texas. We do also have another office, Metroplex Eye Care at 301 Carroll Street in Fort Worth. You can always find us online, Google Elite Vision Center, Metroplex Eye Care, or Google Dr. Gloria Hentz, and we'll be more than happy to serve you guys. And thanks again to the NOA for always hosting these really impactful webinars. And thank you for you guys' commitment just to the community and to serving our community. We really appreciate you and everybody that always support the NOA's agenda of protecting vision. So thanks.
Absolutely, Doc. And on behalf of the National Optometric Foundation and the National Optometric Association, we want to give a very special thank you to you, Dr. Gloria Hentz, for sharing your knowledge and expertise on this topic with us today. We truly appreciate your time and your commitment to helping others see and feel better as well there. And I hope that you'll have a great evening as well.
Same to you. Thank you, guys.
And there you go again, folks. We had another excellent webinar, Protecting the Vision, as we talked about dry eyes, what dry eye is, some of the causes of dry eye, and how you can find relief. And I hope that today's discussion has given you a clearer understanding of what dry eye is all about, how it happens, and more importantly, practical steps that you can take to find real relief. Just remember, folks, your eye health matters. Don't ignore the signs that your eyes are giving you. You know, small changes, early care can make a big difference in the comfort and the quality of life that you're living there. I want to thank each of you for tuning in today and for joining us on this webinar. If you find this session to be helpful, please share it with someone who might benefit. And please make sure that you stay connected to our National Optometric Foundation for more educational opportunities and resources. And as we close this webinar, I just want to let you know that let this be a reminder that you don't need to ignore what your eyes are trying to tell you. Listen, take action, prioritize your vision because you deserve to see life clearly. My name is Dr. Timothy Brown. It has been a pleasure sharing this information with you all on another fabulous webinar. We look forward to seeing you on our next webinar. And until then, have a great evening, stay positive, and I'll see you soon.